Hey everybody, Laughing Boy here. It's been a while, so I thought I'd give you a lodge update to show you where I've got to with my hobby space, my little kingdom that I like to hide away in when I can. I'll also show you some stuff I've done, some new additions to the place. I'm also going to show you this thing, which is just an RF numpad, which I've turned into my own little stream deck, and just things like that. I'm going to be showing you around on this new toy. This is my Vimbal 2, which is just a gimbal that you can attach your phone into, and then I'm using some software called VI Call to turn one of my old phones, this is just an old iPhone, into basically a camera to be streaming, and we'll show you how that works. So here we go. We'll jump over to here. So we'll start here. This is where I spend a good amount of time. This is my paint station now. Not much has changed since you last maybe saw it. The only issue I have got is that paint storage is becoming a bit of a problem when all the new contrast paints arrive. I'm going to find a place to house them. But yeah, I've got my just a cheap old air compressor down there. My new airbrush, which I can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but it's one off the Kickstarter. It's the Cult of Paint Evolution from Heinz Steinbeck. Harden Steinbeck, is that how you say it? Yeah, so what else have we got? Yeah, Everlasting Wet Pilot. I've now added, I had an old Microsoft Surface which I've added here so that I can use that one when I'm painting to control my stream rather than reaching over to where my computer is, or just to watch videos and stuff whilst I'm streaming. Yeah, there you go. I quite like it. It's nice. It's a nice place to sit. It's not too much. That's a spray booth underneath the desk there. It's a little bit messy. I could do with some cable tidying. That's probably been about it. But otherwise, it's a pretty good place to sit and paint. Okay, cool. So if we come over a little bit, we've got more like where my home office is. So when I'm working from home, which is quite often now, this is where I get to sort of have my working time from. So nothing too special here. It's a pretty powerful PC with a nice bit of kit to work from. And also, as you can see, things like an arcade stick back there. Because hey, everyone likes a bit of gaming every now and then. Yeah, cool. As we come around the room, you can see this is my gaming chair, or like office chair. Oh, I'm still getting control of this gimbal. Do excuse me. Nothing. This is nothing. This is called it's a Fic Max. It's not one of the really expensive posh ones, but for me, it does just nicely. It goes full back if you want to lay down in it. It's fully adjustable in almost every aspect. It even has a vibrate function if you want to vibrate your back a bit in this kind of pillow thing that's in there. It's my wife adding a bit of plantage, so she knows I'm getting good air. This is just a portable paint station, so this is so I can pick up this whole thing here, which is like a laptop tray stand with a portable paint station on top, so I can pick that up and take it up to the house if I want to take some paints up there and just do some painting in the living room. So if I want to chill out in the evening, I don't want to be in the lodge. Coming around the room, one of the things I have done is I'm kind of using old devices for things now. So for instance here, I have an old iPhone on the wall, and I use this for things like managing my lights and stuff like that. So I've got, oh, it's because I've literally just literally enabled a new device. Don't worry about any of that. Yeah, so I've got things like Battle Scribe on here, and also my light controls on here if I want to manage my lights. I can go into the lodge lights. Normally this is on. It's because I've literally just reconfigured this device, which is why you saw an Apple sort of activation thing, which won't do any good now, but there you go. So I can turn my lights on and off, and so on and so forth. Just because I had the device, I might as well use it. Another big old plant, because my wife wants to make. I think this is called, it's Devil's something or other. Devil's Ivy or something like that it's called. Over here we have the 3D printer, which has just got done finishing some 15mm. This is a French chateau. It will be eventually when I've printed all the various pieces. And then I have a light box next to it for taking photos. And then I have my self-made dice cam. So this is just simply a photo frame with a bit of felt in the bottom of it attached to an arm with a webcam on it. And it just means that if I flip you for a second, if I go to this camera here, it just means when we're playing games, you get to see what we roll. And classic, I got 3 ones. So that's that. Nothing special over here. Only thing I've added new is I've put some shelves up into the roof. So space is always going to be a premium in here. It's quite a large room, but of course board games and books, etc. start taking up room. So I went to IKEA, bought some shelves, and I put them right up into the ceiling. So I'm using all the space in the ceiling there. You've seen my big old picture before. I really like this picture. It's a mock of Lord of the Rings. If you look closer, you can tell it's definitely not Lord of the Rings. It's not Battle of Helm's Deep, but it's just trying to be. It's just a great fantasy, you know, army fights going on. So I really like that. The glass cabinet is pretty much full at this stage, so I've got to start being a bit more selective about what I put in there. Yeah. As we go down, it's pretty full now. There's some Star Wars X-Wing at the bottom there, but I can't really claim that I painted those, obviously. So I'm going to start getting a bit more selective about what goes in the cupboard. Of course, there's my pride and joy hanging on the wall there, my hobby god bag, the guys over on tabletop, piece of wall. I've also added some things like corner shelves into the roof so that I can just use it for housing big models. This is my sort of tribute to World of Warcraft. I've been playing that game since it came out in beta. I got sent this because I've been a long time subscriber. Don't play so much anymore, to be honest, but another shelf, more board games, loads of card games such as Keyforge, Age of Sigmar Champions, Light Seekers, etc., etc. And then we kind of get a bit more artwork. It's nice to have a bit of artwork on the walls. Come back a bit, you can see all the storage units. So these are just from Wilko's in the UK, just storage bins for storing all sorts of stuff like terrain, more terrain, even some armies and some. So there's a Necron army that I'm building in there. They're really useful for just storing lots of stuff in. Yeah. Bits and pieces like dice trays and that when you need them. Up here, these are all new models. This is all from Joan of Arc, so they're too nice to have in the box. So I've put some of them out on top of my shelves. And of course, behind the scenes, the mighty Hero Quest. There's old Archeon. One day I will paint you, but it's not that day. The massive Hellboy Kickstarter behind it, which is just humongous. Loads more storage, so you know, board game accessories or tape measures, dice, even more cards for various games, and then we get into more sort of like the hobby materials, glues and basing materials, and so on and so forth, all the way down. All of that is kind of hobby materials. And then on this side we've got these kind of smaller trays, and these are great for storing sort of arms and men, so you know, armies and men in miniatures basically. There's some Volsung, whole load of Cruel Seas. This is like the shame tower. This is the what haven't I painted and I should be ashamed. There are some stuff. There is some painted stuff in here, but yeah, lots of tanks that I've made over the last few days. Bit more storage. Good old brush. This brush is great for cleaning down the table. If you've got neoprene mats, I'd recommend a nice stiff brush to get all the dust and all the nonsense of it. This is the bit I'm most unhappy with at the moment and needs to be sorted out. So since putting this shelving up, and I can show you more shelving here, there's more in the roof. So this is I love this idea of using the actual the ceiling to take stuff out from the book cabinet. But since doing that, the book cabinet that I had has become a bit higgledy. So I just need to go through this and make the best of it. There's actually quite a lot of room in there. As you can see, you know, Joan of Arc. I've stripped that down to 3 boxes. It did cover a lot more. The same with Mythic Pantheon Battles. I've stripped that down to 2 boxes. I don't need to keep the boxes unless I absolutely have to, so I get rid of them if I can. On top, we've got there's a Mugwire in the corner there. My 3D printed Iron Golem for Volsung, and of course, the new edition which is a mighty great big dragon. Yeah. Again, some more corner shelving. This is something that I was sparked the idea from the guys at Beasts of War on tabletop, who used tubing to pop the mats in. I haven't really got the room for doing that sort of thing, but what I thought was, why don't I go and get some gutter hooks, and then I can just roll up my mats that I'm not using and place them on top of the gutter. There we go. So I can pop those along the wall there, and I can hang lots more. At the moment, all of my mats are here, and they're just laid on top of each other. So we've got, you know, a sea mat and a desert map, and then some double-sided mats, snow mats, and so on and so forth. The black one I really like for playing board games, and that one I have got a black tablecloth, but since we upgraded to the mat, I really like it. Although my one bit of shame is here. Look at that, a blob of glue. I was making a model here just carelessly, and a blob of glue fell off the model. Actually, it fell out of the nozzle of the glue, plopped right onto the table, and has left a stain there that I can't get rid of for love nor money. So if you know how to get glue out of a neoprene mat, let me know. Underneath the table, if you didn't know about this in a previous video, the table is actually a pool table with a topper on top. It's actually one of those tables that rotates in from a pool table to a hockey table. I'll show you underneath. You can see that it's, there you go, there's the air hockey side, and then this top piece is the pool table side. So if you take that off, you've got a nice little pool table, put your balls down there, cues and so on. But at the moment I store all bits of terrain underneath there, and there's some stools to sit on when you're sat at the table playing games. What else can I show you that's new? Oh, I added an IP camera into here, so this is this thing here. This is for two reasons: one, for security, two, for keeping an eye on the 3D printer. So if I'm leaving the 3D printer on for a long period of time, I can remote in from anywhere, because it's IP based, and see what's going on and turn off the printer, which has also got everything in here is IP power controlled. So I can remote from anywhere in the world, turn things on and off, including the heating, the lighting, the PCs. All the equipment in here is IP based, so I can do all of that. Okay, cool. This is the control, much like the phone on the wall there. This is just an iPad that I've got hooked to the side of the table. I use this for BattleScribe and all sorts of other things, but it's also for the lights. So as you can see, I've got all the bulbs in here are smart bulbs, including the smart strip in the ceiling. And if I just leave it on there, I can change the colour. Now it's very bright outside, so it's nice. It's a nice sunny evening, and the sun's coming straight through my doors here, so you can't really see the impact. But actually at night time, because all the lights in here are this, so if I turn around this way, the gimbal's gone off course, guys. There you go, so they all do it. Go on, catch up with me. There we go. The only ones I haven't done yet are the ones here, which I will do. There we go. So yeah, you can set up profiles, you can do all sorts. It's not the Philips Hue system. This is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a cheaper brand of bulbs, and there's no controller. Each bulb is IP based, so you can set them up in groups, and you can see if I come out of this one and go into another selection, I can just do the strip up here and make that a different colour. I'll turn it on and off, or I can do all the lights, or I can do the one on my desk. So it's quite nice to have that level of control, and then it's also just nice to have an iPad available to you if you're running BattleScribe, or you want to bring up some rules that you're playing Age of Sigmar or whatever, to be able to have an iPad available. I'm probably going to do this on the other side as well, so that somewhere over here there'll be another iPad or another tablet attached to the desk, because it really is useful to have that there. Even if we're streaming a game, it's good to have an iPad up with like the Twitch chat or something like that on. So what was this thing here? This is purely just a very cheap, I think £10 for an RF controlled numpad. Okay, nothing special. What's a wireless numerical numpad? There we go. The controller for it is actually in the ceiling, so that I can cover the whole room. Not that I don't think I couldn't cover the whole room anyway, Well, this gimbal is playing around to me. So there you go. There's a USB controller just up there, stuck into the ceiling, and I run a number. I run two things off of it. One, I run a camera that's looking down at the table, and two, it's got the RF controller for this thing. So all I've done is in the application I happen to use OBS for any streaming we do. You just set up this numpad with the keys that you want to use as shortcuts, and make them keys that you're not going to use for anything else, and then just map them to these. So these 6 keys here are my cameras. These are my channel starting, be right back, and leaving. This is my go live. This is my stop. This is my record. This is my stop. These aren't used, so I just put black over them. You could draw little symbols on them, but now I've learnt them, I don't need to bother. But I could do. So for instance, you saw earlier, if I press this, we'll go to the dice cam. There we go. So we're now on that dice camera over here. I've got this one to take me back to the gimbal. So you're now seeing that. So I've got this one here to wave to you over there. And so on and so forth. So I can work around all the various cameras that I have on the table. So that's a top-down view from the camera up in the ceiling. This one is more for like a layout. So this is top-down view of the table, dice box, and me and the gimbal. So if we're doing a battle report, you can see that it says Stormcast versus Scave, and that's probably one of the last ones we did. And this one's more, this is my painting stream. So when I'm painting, this is what it looks like. I sometimes have the printer on to look at the printer, and then this is me painting down here with models. So yeah, really cheap way of getting a Stream Deck, which you can pay quite a bit of money for. I think like £120 maybe, and this is one built for £10, and works brilliantly. And all you can do if you wanted to is you could add stickers to these. I just did plain ones. You could write on these. You could actually just buy little stickers with smiley faces on, or whatever it is you want, so that you know what they do. But I find it quite useful, and when I'm not using it, it just lives under the table there. So I think, is there anything else I've done want to show you? No, there's a few storage things here and there, but otherwise pretty much everything's as it should be. It's definitely reaching its kind of like, I think it's done stage. Like I'm not going to be able to add big things to it anymore. So I'll put my lights back to what they were. Give you a view outside. It's a nice sunny day. Let me just put my lodge lights back to being. So at the moment we're in a nice moody pink. There we go. Oh, that's my desk. I don't want to do my desk. I want to do the whole lot, please. All in white. There we go. Yeah. So I'm really happy with it. Like I say, I want to sort that area out next. That's not the area I'm happy with the most, but it's not so bad. Yeah. There we go. So if I flip back to this camera. So I hope that was. Oh, there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give us a like. I'm going to try and do some more painting streams soon, and some more Let's Plays of various games. I'm going to do a Let's Play on camera of the Joan of Arc game with my son. He's learned how to play it, so he's going to teach me, which I think is brilliant. If you've got any questions about this thing, just ask. If you've got questions about any of this stuff, just ask. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.